Hey guys, today is Wednesday, I think. Pretty sure it's Wednesday. I lost a little bit of time there. Yesterday, didn't do much of anything. Today, I am less hurty. My hand is now unnumb, which is really nice. And except my fingers are really swollen. It's like I have little sausages on my fingers. You can see that this hand is way fatter than this hand. And that will go away after a while. I have to keep my hand up. I have to walk around like I'm saying the pledge, and you all know how to say that. I pledge allegiance to the flag. You all know the one. So I have to walk around like that. Other than that, it's good. It's still hard to do things. And you know what? Today, I have a new hero. And my new hero is our old friend Avery from school. Why is Avery my new hero? Do you remember back in the fall when you guys were still really small? Avery broke her right arm. That would be this arm. And Avery is like me. She is right-handed. So that means she writes with her right hand. And basically when you're handed, you do things with that hand. So I write with my right hand. I sew with my right hand. I lift things with my right hand. We do have two kids in our class who are left-handed. I'm trying to think who. Colton, and Aurora. And they do things with their left hand. They write with their left hand. They carry things with their left hand. They do everything with their left hand. Mr. Larry is also left-handed. Well, the reason why Avery is my hero is because when she broke her arm, she did everything with this arm. Everything. She wrote with this arm. And let me tell you what, I was just downstairs trying to write with my left hand. It is really, really difficult. So Avery, you did a fantastic job, which I knew all along that you did, but now that I'm doing it, it's very, very hard. So round of applause to Avery. She came through it like a champ. So anyway, today is Wednesday, June 3rd, around a tree, and I apologize for my writing because it hurts to write. So I'm doing it with my right hand because this is much bigger than a normal pen. It's easier for me to grasp. So around a tree, that's the way to make a 3. And we're going to add one more dot, if I can get the top on this thing, to our tens frame. Don't use your mouth for things. I just had to help myself there. Okay, 3. So count with me. 1, 2, 3 dots. June 3rd, 2020. All right. Now, let's go on. I have a book for you today, and my book I picked out because of our walk last night that Mr. Larry and I took. And I can't take a walk by myself right now because I can't hold both dogs. I can only hold one dog with my left hand. I can't control both hands. Usually what I do is I put one dog next to me on this side and one dog next to me on this side, and I hold their leashes. But if somebody should come along and start barking, then my girls go a little bit nutsy, and they don't like that. And so I can't control them because I'm not supposed to lift anything heavier than 10 pounds, which is not that much. So that's what the book is, something reminded me about. Anyway, let's talk about sentences. I have 3 sentences today. Are they all sentences, though? That's the question. All right, so the first one is, I'll read it to you. My hand hurts. The second one, today is June. And the third one, do you like frogs? All right, so the first one, remember, a sentence is a complete thought. Is it conveying everything it needs to convey, or is it telling us everything we need to tell? Does it have an uppercase letter at the beginning of the sentence? Does it have words? Does it have spaces between the words? And does it have punctuation? So I'll put that closer so that you can see. My hand hurts. Does it convey a complete thought? Yes, it's telling you my hand hurts. Does it have an uppercase letter? Yes, it does. Does it have words? 1, 2, 3 of them. Are there spaces between the words? 1, 2, yep, there are. Does it have punctuation? Yes, it does. It has a period. Now, I'm not saying this like, my hand hurts. That would be an exclamation mark. This one, my hand hurts. It hurts a little bit. It's nothing major. I don't even need to take an aspirin for it. It just hurts a little bit. Not much. And when I don't move it, it really doesn't hurt at all. But the orders are, I have to keep wiggling my fingers, so I do have to move it every now and again. Okay, I kept waking up in the middle of the night, putting my hand up and wiggling my fingers. Silly, but I had to do it. So the next sentence is, today is June. Actually, it's today is June. Is that really a complete thought? Not really. Not really. Because you know what? It gives us an idea that we're in the month of June, but it doesn't tell us what today is, does it? No. But now let's see. So it's not really a complete thought, but does it have words? Yes. 1, 2, 3. Does it have spaces? Yes. 1, 2. Is there an uppercase letter? Yes, there is. That is an uppercase T right there at the beginning. Does it have punctuation? Yes, it has an exclamation mark. However, it's not really telling us what today is. It's just saying today is June. Well, June has 30 days, half September, April, June. And okay, June has 30 days in it. I have to say the little rhyme. June has 30 days in it, so it's not really telling us what we need to know. If somebody said to you, what's the date today? And you said today is June, that's not really telling us what we need to know. So how we need to make that into a sentence is to erase this. This is an easy one. And today is June 3rd. We just talked about that. Today is June 3rd. So now we're going to answer that question. Today is June 3rd. Good. Now we've made a sentence. Whoops. And now we've erased part of this one. All right. Do you like frogs? I do. We heard a bullfrog last night when we went for a walk. That was pretty cool. Didn't see any ducks though. Do you like frogs? Does it have words? Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is it a complete thought? Yeah, it is. I'm asking you, do you like frogs? Does it have spaces? Yes, it does. Does it have an uppercase letter? No, that's definitely a lowercase d. So we're going to fix that. Let me put this down, and maybe I won't smudge everything else up. And I'm going to write an uppercase D. All right, now, do we have an uppercase at the end, at the beginning? Yes. Do we have a question mark at the end? Because I'm asking you a question. It requires an answer. Do you like frogs? I do. Now is it a sentence? Yes, it is. Good job. All right. So I know now you think this book, because I told you what it's something that was on our walk that reminded me. This book is not about frogs. This book is about something else that we saw on our walk last night. We didn't see any ducks. The mama duck was out on the pond the other day with a couple of ducklings. We did see a bunny, but I think by the time we went out for our walk last night, the ducklings were probably all in bed. We saw squirrels. We saw lots of birds. We didn't see a frog, but we heard a frog. But we saw something else. And when I was on my walk the other night, for the first time this year, I've been outside at night, and I saw flying in the air bats. So this book is about bats. It's called Zipping, Zapping, Zooming Bats. And there's a picture of a bat on the front cover. And this book is by Earle, and it's illustrated by Henry Cole. Now, one of the things that I want to point out to you here is that bats don't have wings like birds. They do have wings, yeah, but their wings are actually skin, just skin. And if you look at these long things right there, those are the bones of the bat. And they use those bones like we use our fingers. In fact, if I put my hand like that, can you see? And they use those to scoop up insects. Another thing about bats, they use their ears a lot. And they have fur. They do not have feathers. They have fur. They are mammals, just like we're mammals. We have hair, like dogs and cats. We have hair, and we nurse our babies. Guess what? They do too. Our babies don't hatch from eggs. Neither do theirs. Okay? So they are mammals just like us. So let's find out some about zipping, zapping, zoomy bats. Now, zipping, zapping, zooming bats. Bats can be scary when we see them because there's a lot of old wives' tales about bats, like they get stuck in your hair and they come out at you and they bite, and then of course there's the old vampire thing that, you know, vampire bats turn into people that want to suck your blood. Well, those people don't exist. That's silliness. Vampire bats exist and they do suck blood, but they don't go around jabbing you in the neck, and then when they suck your blood, you don't become a vampire. In fact, vampires very often suck the blood of animals, cows and sheep and whatnot, and they don't even live anywhere around us here in the mid-Atlantic part of the United States. So that's not something that we have to worry about. Vampire bats. And most oftentimes when people are bitten by vampire bats or animals are bitten, they are sound asleep and they don't even realize they've been bitten. So, you know, but again, it's not something that we have to worry about because they don't live anywhere near here. All right. So here are some bats. There's a bat flying, and this looks like the rafters of a house, the supporting beams in a house, maybe in an attic, and you can see some bats there. Bats hang upside down to sleep. Seems funny to me, but anyway. When the sun goes down, bats come out to hunt. You have to look quickly to see a bat. before it's gone. So they're out in a field on a farm looking at the bats. And bats have a particular way of flapping their wings. They flap very fast. So you have to look carefully. Many bats hunt insects. Ooh, they're good for us. They eat things like old Mr. Skeety who flies high. Old Mr. Skeety, he flies low. Old Mr. Skeety gonna land on me and he ain't gonna fly no more. They eat mosquitoes. Each night, a bat chomps half of its own weight in bugs. So if you weigh 60 pounds, it's like eating 125 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches every day. That's a lot of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Don't be scared if a bat flies past your head. It won't get into your hair. It's probably catching a juicy mosquito. Now, this is a picture of a little boy who weighs 60 pounds, and that's how many sandwiches he would have to eat every day in order to eat as much as one little bat does. They eat a lot. Bats are terrific hunters. You can see that's a little grasshopper there. These pictures are dark because it's nighttime, so I apologize, and I'm trying to get the glare off the paper. A little brown bat can catch 150 mosquitoes in 15 minutes. Wow, that's a lot of mosquitoes. The gray bat can gobble 3,000 insects in one night. Bracken Cave in Texas is home to 20 million Mexican free-tailed bats. Together they munch 250 tons every night. That's a lot. A ton is 2,000 pounds. And so if they're eating 250 times 2,000, let me see, that would be 500,000 pounds of insects a night. It's a lot. Bats help get rid of insects that bite people. Bats also zap moths, beetles, and grasshoppers. And these insects eat farmers' crops. So they're eating our foods, some of those insects. Some grasshoppers can take out a farmer's field. So bats are good things. Bats are good hunters because they have a special way of using sound. There's the picture of the bat, and you can see the little sound waves. Some of them are going this way, and some of them are going this way. Can you see that? These sounds, bats make beeping sounds, and they're too high-pitched for our ears, but a bat can hear things ours can't. Kind of like dogs. Dogs can do that too. The beeps go out from the bat in waves, and the sound waves hit objects around the bat. When the sound waves hit an object, they bounce back. The bounce sounds come back to the bat as echoes. The bat can tell by the echoes what kind of insect is near and exactly where it is, and then the bat can catch it. We call this echolocation. Another kind of mammal that uses echolocation, dolphin. Dolphins use echolocation to find things. The echoes that bounce off a tree sound different from the echoes that bounce off a bug. Bats use echolocation to hear things that are in their way. They can zoom fast through dark forests and black cave tunnels. If a bat gets into your house, open a door or window. The bat will echolocate and hear the opening it can use to fly out. It may take it a while, but it works. I've done it. I was one time working in a store, and a bat got into the store, and it was really kind of almost creepy the way the bat came around the corner and went down each and every aisle until finally it located where that door was, and it flew right out the door. Didn't hurt anybody, didn't touch anything. So, now here we come to the bat's wings. And we have right here the little thumb. That's his little thumb way up on top. This is his second finger right here. Oh, I'm sorry, right up here. Right on the very edge. This is his third finger, his fourth finger, and his fifth finger, or pinky. Okay? So that's what a bat is like. And this is all skin in between. Skin, just like, kind of like what we have right down here. That little web of skin right there, or right here. That's what bats have. Let me see if I can put, you see that? That's what they have. But it covers all the way up to the top of their fingers. Bats are good hunters because they are expert flyers. Their wings are different from bird wings. Bat wings have long arm bones with extra long finger bones. A thin skin called a membrane stretches between the bones. The membrane connects the wing bones to the bat's legs and body. It may also join to the tail legs, and in this case, it does. Join the tail to the legs, sorry. So this is what a bird's bones look like, and it's covered with feathers. This yellow right here. And this is what the bat bones look like. So totally different. Totally different. Also, bats have sticky uppy ears. Birds don't have sticky uppy ears. That's a technical term. Bat wings are like webbed hands. A flying bat can move its wings much the way you can move your fingers. This means a bat can quickly change the shape of its wings. If a bug dodges away, the bat can zigzag fast and chase it. A bat can catch a flying insect in its wing, flip it into its tail membrane, and then scoop it into its mouth. And that's what these pictures are showing you. How he does that, or how they do that. See how he's got his wing bent there? Scooping it right in there. That's an old mosquito he's got. Bats have hooded claws on their toes, or hooked claws on their toes and thumbs. When bats sleep or clean themselves, they hang upside down by their toe claws. They use their claws to move around on their roosts. That's where they sit. To comb their fur and clean their ears. Bats keep themselves as clean as cats using both their tongues and their claws. And you can see if I can get it in the picture. Let's see. I'm trying. It just won't come into focus. This bat right here, this little pink thing, that's his tongue, and his wing is hanging out, and he's licking his wing. Because bats fly at night, many people are scared of them. Sometimes people tell scary stories about vampires that can change into bats. Dracula and other vampires are not real. Bats fly at night because that's when they can find their favorite meals. Bats are really very gentle, and you can see they're camping out. They are very gentle. In China, bats are considered good luck. The Wu-Fu sign has 5 bats drawn in a circle with their wingtips touching. Inside the circle is the tree of life. The Wu-Fu sign is like our 4-leaf clover. It means long life, good luck, wealth, and happiness. Emperors liked bat signs on their robes, thrones, and in their palaces. And you can kind of see, here's the bat body, and there's the wings. And there's 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Who knew a bat was good luck? I know it's bad luck for the mosquitoes, but good luck for us. In winter, many bats hibernate. That means they sleep all winter, very deeply. While bats are hibernating, their breathing slows down and their heart rate drops from 900 to 20 beats a minute. Hibernating bats need much less energy to stay alive. Bats get ready for hibernation by stuffing themselves full of food, just like bears do, especially in the last weeks of warm weather. Their bodies store the extra food as fat, and this fat will be their food throughout the winter. Now, sometimes when people explore caves, they kill bats by accident. So if you went into a cave where bats were hibernating, you would wake them up, and they would fly to another part of the cave. Each time that happens, the bats use up about a month's supply of fat. If they use too much stored food, they will starve before spring, when they can hunt again. And there's all those bats hibernating. Little bats. All right, hang on. If you go into a cave in June or July, which is right now this time of year, be sure to look for baby bats. If you do see pups, they're called pups, just like puppies. Dogs have puppies. Never touch or bother them. Leave quickly and quietly. Bats are mammals. They are the only flying mammals that nurse. This means that the mother's bodies make milk to feed their babies. Bat pups hang together in large groups called nurseries. We have nurseries in our hospitals. That's where they keep newborn babies. Yeah, they hang out in the nursery. Each mother returns to feed her pup at least twice a night. The pups need their mother's milk to survive. If you disturb a nursery cave, the frightened mothers may leave, and then the pups will starve. Not good. Good news for the mosquito, bad news for us. Besides disturbing their caves, people harm bats by destroying their homes. People close off their attics and tear down old barns. They seal off empty mines and cut down forests where bats like to live. Several bats are now in danger of dying out. In some places, there aren't enough bats left to keep down the number of insect pests, so farmers lose crops and mosquitoes feast on us. People could use poison to kill bugs, but poison can be dangerous to human, other animals, and plants. Some people put bat houses in their yard. That's a tree that has a bat house on it. Public parks and nature centers may have houses for large groups of bats. Groups who care about wild animals are putting gates on cave entrances so bats can easily zip through, but people can't. There's a gate on that. You can see the grids going across. And in Midfield, Alabama, elementary school can join the BAT, Bats Are Terrific Club. Members help spread the word that bats are not scary. They really are helpful. If a bat flies past you in the dark, listen closely. Perhaps you can hear the flutter of its wings before it's gone. And even if you can't, you can be sure that the bat heard you. And that is absolutely true. I've never been messed up by a bat or anything else. I've had them in my house. I've had them in a store that I was in. I've had them in my church. They just are bats hanging out, kind of like bumblebees. You know, stay away from them when you see them. When you see those bees or wasps that may sting you, stay away from it. You know, stay away from snakes. They don't necessarily want to be around you. So there's all kinds of different bats. And this one names a couple of them. There's the California leaf-nosed bat, which he's got like a little leaf coming up from his nose. There's the hog-nosed bat. They have noses that kind of go up like this. And there's the Mexican free-tailed bat, which we read about. There are gray bats. There are little brown bats. There are big brown bats. There are flying foxes. Look, he kind of does look like a fox. And then there's this guy, vampire bat. I want to read about that one. Vampire bats live in parts of Mexico, Central, and South America. That's way down south of us. They are the only species of bats that eat blood. Most often they feed on the blood of sleeping cattle or other livestock. Not on people. So there's nothing to be afraid of when you see a bat. Now, I will tell you though that bats sometimes can get the disease called rabies. And so if a bat bites you, which I've never heard of anybody that I know getting bitten by a bat, but I know it does happen, then you need to see a doctor immediately, and probably, if you can, catch the bat and kill it. When an animal has rabies, it's a very bad disease. They're going to die. And sometimes cats and dogs are bitten, but lots of animals can catch rabies. So it's very important when you are bitten by something wild, or a dog or a cat that's acting weird, dangerously, that you get to a doctor and have that bite looked at. That's why if you have a dog or a cat, you take your dog or cat to the vet to get a rabies shot. And all dogs and cats need to have that. Otherwise, they can't be around people. That doesn't mean that if a dog doesn't have a rabies shot, it's got rabies. It just means it's a whole lot more less likely to have rabies. And if you should get bitten by something that has rabies, which is, I'm very old and I've never been bitten by anything, and I really don't know anybody that's been bitten. I've heard of people getting bitten, and apparently you have to get shots once you've been bitten, and they're not comfortable. So stay away from wild animals, okay? Just do yourself a favor and stay away. I'm over time here, guys, so I gotta go lay down. My hand is feeling it, and I'm feeling very tired. So I will see you tomorrow. I'll get my hand out of my face so you can see the shadow. And Avery, you did a great job. To the rest of you, have a great day. It's supposed to be really hot out today. And I'll see you tomorrow. Okay? Love to you all. Have a good one.